sleepy?
Oh, no, no, no. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I take a shower
Yes.
a couple of minutes ago, and my eyes is mm, oh my gosh,
Stinging.
irritated. I don't know in
Okay,
English.
irritated. Yes, irritated is good.
Yes,
Okay. Well, it's nice to see you. How do you pronounce your name, please?
Amauri, Amauri.
Amari. Great,
Yeah.
Amari. My name is Priscilla, and I'm happy to be here to be your coach today for conversational English. So tell
Okay,
me,
that's right.
how long have you practiced English? How long have you?
Uh, I my English is not so good because I have a little time to learn English. I have been learning English 7, 8 months, I think, more or less.
Fantastic.
Um,
Well, I understand you now perfectly. And
oh, thank you.
to tell you, my goal is to help the students establish conversational fluency. I want you
Okay, great.
to grab every opportunity to speak, speak, speak. And when you start speaking, that 8 months that you have under your belt will quickly
Uh-huh.
improve. So this is fantastic. So what country?
Okay.
So where are you from originally?
I am from Brazil, but I am currently living in Mexico, Guadalajara.
Okay, very good. My son is living in California, and
Uh-huh.
he works for a company that he has to go over to Mexico. So that's
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
That's awesome.
What company is he working?
Well, actually, he just started 3 weeks ago, and unfortunately, I can't even tell you the name, but it is a manufacturing company, and he is one of the manufacturing engineers. I think over in Mexico, they are um, building or making whatever it is that they design.
Okay, okay, nice. I am working in Hewlett Packard.
Mhm.
Maybe it's that company, I think. I don't know.
Okay. No, it's not Hewlett Packard. It's his is more of a manufacturing where they make things for vehicles and machines. Of course, Hewlett Packard is a machine, but no, it's
Oh,
more of a
yeah.
motorized machine that he's
Okay.
working his designs for. But good.
Okay.
One day I may say, Amari, my son who speaks no Spanish, needs someone
Uh,
needs someone to work with him. So we'll see how that works out. But I think he has his own ideas of how to become successful in interacting with the people in Mexico. But welcome.
yes.
It's good to see you. Let's
But
see who else. Who else is here today? Who else is with us today? Alejandro.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello,
How are
teacher.
you? Hello, Alejandro. How are you? I'm not exactly
I'm
sure
fine.
what this is that popped up, but it says something about using an app, but I'm going to ignore it because I'm not sure what it means. Maybe you're not using a PC. I'm not exactly sure, Alejandro, but we'll find out. Where are you calling from today, Alejandro?
I'm from Spain.
Okay. What's the weather like today?
It's uh, it's hot,
Oh,
too
yeah.
hot.
Too hot. Well, some places it's too hot, other places it is too cold. What time is it where you are?
Here,
Yes.
1 o'clock
In the
uh,
morning or afternoon?
in the morning.
Okay. Well, I hope that this 1 hour that you will spend with me, you will find that it is well worth the time that you did not go to sleep. All right. Thank you for sharing. And let's see, the little kitty, who is this with me today? Who is the picture of the little kitty?
Yeah,
Hello. Who is this with the
nice
little
to meet
kitty?
yeah, nice to
What
meet
it,
you.
you too. What is your name, please?
My name is Heidi.
Hello, Hyde. It's nice to meet you. And where are you calling from today?
From Japan.
You're from Japan. Awesome. We're doing a summer camp now, and the theme is traveling to Japan. And
Oh,
it's K through sixth grade, and they're so little, and they are so excited about all the things that we're talking about. So far, the part that I did was the reading part, and we read a story about the peach. Do you know this story? It's a Japanese fable, the peach.
No, I don't know what.
Oh, it's so cute. Look for it on the computer. Maybe one day I'll teach it, but it's really nice. So thank you for joining us.
Mhm.
I see another person that has hmm, maybe a white circle neck shirt, and there's a logo in the back. What is your name, please?
My name is Harry, and I'm from Germany.
Hi, Harry. It's nice to meet you. And you are from Germany. I don't know many people from Germany yet, but I'm happy to have met you as well. What time is it in Germany?
1 a.m.
Oh, I hope your time will be well spent since you're staying up in the wee hours of the morning also. And finally, the person with the vehicle, it looks like you're sitting on the steps of the car. What is your name, please?
Hello, my name is Roman.
Roman. And where are you calling from today, Roman?
I'm calling from Canada, but originally I'm from Ukraine.
Oh, guess what? My brother is here in North Carolina. He lives in Vancouver, Canada. So he will be visiting with my mom and my family, or our family, for about 6 weeks. So we're happy to have him in Vancouver, from Vancouver. Let's see. And maybe the person who has an icon is Obed. Hello,
Yeah.
Obed. How are you?
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you. I think I've had you in class before. Is that correct?
Yeah, one class before. That's just
Okay.
only one. Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome back. It is my pleasure to have you back, and I want to offer to each of you as we start. I just looked up, we are now 10 minutes in the session. Please take the opportunity to follow me if you like the way that I teach. Please be sure to communicate with me if there are things that you would like for me to teach. And I would certainly try to create a lesson plan, especially for that particular content area. I will say, however, I do not specifically teach grammar. I am a conversational English coach. That is what I went through school for. That is what I have been trained for, with very little emphasis on grammar. For the most part, I will speak grammatically correct. For the most part, I will use the scholarly language. However, many people will not speak as scholarly in daily conversation as I will, but I want you to get the full grasp of the vocabulary and then taper it down to just very casual conversation. So welcome everyone. I hope again that you will find today's session very entertaining, exciting, and full of information that you can use. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And as soon as I share my screen, tell me when you can see what is on my screen. Can you see Call of the Wild on my screen?
Yes, of course.
Fantastic. All right, there's one more person that has come in, and I'll ask someone to let me know when someone else comes in. The reason for this, when I share my screen, I go from a different screen and I'm not looking in the chat box. So even if you type something now, I will not be able to see it. But I am in the visual now. I see one person who has come in with a white tank shirt. Could you tell me your name, please?
My name is Andre.
Andre?
And yeah, exactly.
Andre. Welcome, Andre.
Thank you,
It's
Priscilla.
good. It's good to see you today.
Thank you.
And
Teacher, can you get us this link for document?
I did already. I posted that link um, in the overall consortium where you signed in. But if you don't see it, I will try to figure out how to get it to you. The only problem with trying to get it to you now, I would have to go out, and I don't know if I know how to get back in. So I can't send it to you now. But if you will go to the YouTube at the end of this session, leave a comment, then I will post the document there as well. I would like to ask, I'm actually begging, please leave feedback. When I get the feedback, this helps me to develop the best lessons for every session that I teach. And I'll be teaching 3 other sessions later this evening, so if you're inclined to stay up, they all will be different. So we will now begin. Let's see, what will we do? This is called Call of the Wild. And if you notice, over to the left, I have the images numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The purpose of this is to help the beginner reader, the intermediate reader, and the advanced reader to read in context. Lots of times you will have vocabulary words and you are not really sure how to use the word, when to use the word. For example, this word brewing has nothing to do with coffee or tea, but we typically think of brewing when we are creating something to drink. Now I'm going to bring my speed of talking down, and if I need to, you can let me know if I need to speed up or even slow down. This is the story of Call of the Wild. If you have never read this book, I think you would be well advised to do so. It is an awesome book. It is a book that is prescribed for all students, I think, in the U.S. At some point, we are encouraged to read this book. Now I want you to look on the right side, and I will call on you, and I would like for you to tell me what it is that you see. Amari, will you tell me what you see in picture number 1?
I see a swimming pool.
Okay, great. And Alejandro, what is number 2?
I see a, a sky, skater.
Okay, you see, in number
And,
2, it's a person jumping into a pool of water.
oh,
Okay,
sorry.
Hid, number 3. What is number 3? Just tell me what you think it is. It doesn't have to be correct. What do you think it is? Number 3, Hid.
It,
Oh, it's HID.
Me.
Yes, number 3.
My name is Hyde.
Oh, hide. Okay, I'm sorry, hide. Okay, got it. Hide, number 3.
Maybe it's very northern parts and covered by ice, so dogs are drawing the thread.
That is correct. Okay, and Harry, number 4.
Number 4 is a leaf on the ground. There are leaves on the ground.
Very good. And these leaves are full of frost, which means it's probably very cold. But there are leaves on the ground. Number 5, Roman.
I suppose this is field of rice.
Okay, good. It is a field of something, or it could be a crop. Very good. Obed, could you tell me what you think number 6 is?
I think this road under the tree.
Very good. It is a pathway. It is a road. And
Yes.
number 7, Andre.
I think this is some kind of graph.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of
Yes,
rising graph.
yes, it is something, and it means to rise. Number 8, it's a security where they are touching the person to make sure that he does not have anything of danger. And that word for this picture would be groping. Groping. Number 9 is a veranda or a porch. Number 10 is a cottage. Number 11 is a brewery where things are brewed. Number 12 is a sunset. 13 is groping again. 14 is lattice, where the boards go in and out, across and under. Number 15 is an orchard, like a peach orchard or an apple orchard where they grow on the trees. Number 16 is gravel. There's a person walking on a gravel road. And number 17 is going to be an arbor. And number 18 is toil. Number 18 is toil. All right. Now these pictures are there to help us with our reading. If you're not sure of what something is, you can look back down at the picture. The words are in blue and the pictures are numbered. So brewing would be number 11. Groping would be number 13 or number, well, 8.
Hey,
All right. So let's see. Did I stop with Harry, Roman, Obed? Andre, would you please read for us until you get to
Which one?
the end? Buck did not read the newspapers. I will not correct your reading at this point, but I will correct your reading a little later on. Would you start
Oh,
reading for me?
yeah, sure. Thank you. Buck didn't read the newspapers, or he would have known that trouble was brewing, not alone for himself, but for every tidewater dog, strong or muscle, and with long hair from Puget Sound to San Diego. Because men groping in the Arctic darkness had found a yellow metal, and because steamship and transportation companies were booming the find, thousands of men were rushing into the Northland. These men wanted dogs. These men wanted dogs, and the dogs they wanted were heavy dogs, with strong muscles by which to toil and fiery coats to protect them from the frost.
Thank you. Amari, would you read the remainder? Would you read everything else? Buck,
What part, teacher?
all of it. Buck lived.
Okay, Buck lived at a big house in the sun-kissed Santa Clara Valley, Judge Miller's place. It was called. It stood back from the road, half hidden among the trees, through which glimpses could be caught, caught
Hot
of the wide, cool veranda that ran around its four
sides.
sides. The house was approached by gravelled driveways which wound about through wide spreading lawns and wandered the interlation both of tall I don't know, teacher, that
That,
pronunciation.
that's okay.
Poplars.
That's okay. Keep
Okay,
going.
poplars.
Mhm.
At the rear, things were one even a more spacious scale than at the front. There were great stables, where a dozen grooms and boys held forth, rows of vine-clad servants' cottages, and endless and orderly array of outhouses along grape arbors, green pastures, orchards, and berry patches. Then where was the pumping plant for the artesian well, and the big cement tank where Judd Miller's boys took their morning plunge and kept it cool in the hot afternoon. Oh my gosh, my pronunciation is not so good.
Okay, well, let's just look at it this way, Amari. When you were a baby, you probably screamed, and your mother says, I don't know what he wants, but I will indulge him until I figure it out. So this is what I will do. I will let everyone make their mistakes, and we'll figure out what we can do to correct those as we go along. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
Now I will read, and I will point out what these words in blue are, so that the next time that you are listening or reading, it will make more sense. Call of the Wild. Buck did not read the newspapers, or he would have known that trouble was brewing. Here, the word brewing means it is the beginning of something. Something is going to happen. Something is brewing. Not alone for himself, but for every tidewater dog, strong of muscle and with warm, long hair from Puget Sound to San Diego. Puget Sound is just a place in the U.S. Because men groping in the Arctic darkness had found a yellow metal, and because steamships and transportation companies were booming the find, thousands of men were rushing into the Northland, groping. The men that were looking for this gold is the gold that you find in the mountains, and you use your pitchforks and you just feel around. You don't know when you will hit gold, but that is called groping. The word booming is something going up. Lots of gold was being found in the Puget Sound, but the people were just feeling around in absolute ignorance. They didn't know if today they would find gold or tomorrow, but they continued to grope, to look and search out. These men wanted dogs, and they wanted dogs that were heavy dogs, with strong muscles by which to toil and furry coats to protect them from the frost. So they were looking for dogs, as in the picture of number 3. This is ice and cold and snow, and these are frost-bitten leaves that have died, fallen off the tree. But this is what the men were looking for. They were looking for dogs that could actually travel in harsh conditions. Buck, now Buck is a dog. Buck lived at a big house in the sun-kissed Santa Clara Valley. This is what sun-kissed looks like. The sun is bright and beautiful and warm, not too hot, just nice. It stood back from the road, half hidden from the trees, through which glimpses could be caught of the wide, cool veranda that ran around its 4 sides. This is a veranda. This porch, if it goes all around this house, it's called a veranda. Now, a veranda does not need to go around the entire house, but in this story, it goes all around the house. The veranda does. The house was approached by gravel driveways. This is how you get to the house. You go up this gravel driveway. This is gravel here. And if you go through here, you will find the house, because this is a gravel driveway, which means it's nothing but rocks, which wound about through wide-spreading lawns and under interlacing boughs of tall poplars. See these tall things that are curved? These are poplars, and this is what they're calling interlacing. Interlacing, I gave you this picture for interlacing, but it's something that is intricate and connected. That's what interlacing boughs. And a bough is nothing more than the limbs or the branches on a tree, and in this case, tall poplars or trees. At the rear, things are on a more spacious scale than at the front. There are great stables where a dozen grooms and boys held forth, rows of vine-clad servant cottages. This is a cottage. This is where servants will live, in small homes like this, not like a big house with a veranda, but this is where the workers lived, in the cottage. And an endless and orderly array of outhouses, long grape arbors, green pastures, orchards, and berry patches. This is an arbor, almost similar to this arbor, but this arbor has green trees. This is a berry patch where the people are going out and picking berries. It could be rice, but I think it's berries. Then there was the pumping plant for the artesian well and the big cement tank where Judge Miller's boys took their morning plunge to keep cool in the hot afternoon. So this is a big swimming pool, but it's a big tank. It's not your ordinary swimming pool. It's a big tank, or this could be the tank where the boys just jump in to stay cool. All right. What questions can I answer for anyone at this moment before we go on? I know that that was a lot, but let me know what questions you have, and I will try to answer those before we go on to more in-depth conversation. Any questions at this moment? Oh, you're all so quiet. No questions? No
I'm just
questions.
scared, that's it.
Okay, I wanted to check to make sure that my speaker is going, so it is. All right, well, don't be afraid. Um, the only way that you're going to overcome your fear is to start speaking. I will tell
Yes.
you that even though I speak English, even though I am a native English speaker, I also took speaking classes, and with that, I'm still not as good as I am going to become, but rarely will you hear me say I'm not good at what I do. So let's start today. Today will be the last time that anyone in this group will say, I can't, I don't know how, I'm scared. What you will say is, I know I can, I can do this, I can do this. Because there's something about what you connect in your brain. If you tell your brain that you can't do something, guess what? Your brain says, you're right, you sure cannot do this. But if you tell your brain that I can, your brain says, I guess she can. And before you know it, you will be able to. So that's some food for thought. Any questions before I go back to screen share?
We can do that.
That's good. Excellent. We can do that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now here are some words. Brewing, making something. Brewing means to make something. I want each of you to look at these words with me. Here is the word and the definition. Brewing means to make something. Groping means to touch without seeing. Veranda is seating area on a porch. And berry patches are small gardens with berries. Booming is expanding. Frost is morning ice. Sun-kissed, it's the bright sun. Gravel are small stones. Wound means to circle around. Interlacing, going back and forth. Cottages are small houses. Orchards, those are fruit trees. Tank, it's a container of water. Plunge means to jump. And arbors are small coverings for shade. And all of these words here represent the numbered pictures on the side. Everybody all right with that? Everybody understand? Okay. All right. So here we are. I read already, so I don't need to read again. I don't need to read this again. This time, I will correct you as you read. So we will start with Alejandro. Alejandro, you will read first, but wait, let me get everybody in here. Alejandro, then we will have Hyde. Hyde will read, and Hyde, I will make you red, and Harry next. And as you read, if you have questions when you are reading, ask me your questions. Harry will read. Then we will have Roman. And Roman, you will be gray. And Obed. I don't know if someone else came in or not. Obed will be green. And Andre, if we get around to you again, then you will read Andre. Andre will be yellow. And Amari will be, if we get around to you again, you will be reading there. Did anyone else come in? Let me check. Nope, I think we still, everyone's good. All right, so when you get to a spot and you want me to explain something, please let me know and I will do that. And we want to go with no color. All right, Alejandro, you are up. You are up means you will be the one to start reading. Alejandra, please
Yes.
read everything. Please read everything.
Okay. Buck did not read the newspaper, or he would have known that trouble was brewing, not alone for himself, but for every tidewater dog, strong of muscle and with warm, long hair from Puget Sound to San Diego, because men groping in the Arctic darkness had found a yellow metal, and because steamship and transportation companies were booming the find, thousands of men were rushing into the Northland. These men wanted dogs, and the dogs they wanted were heavy dogs, with strong muscles by which to toil, and furry coats to protect them from the frost.
Okay, fantastic. What words would you like for me to help you with other than the ones that I've highlighted? For example, newspapers. I did not hear the S on newspapers. It's almost as if you say this as two words. Newspapers. Newspapers. Brewing. 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 Can you say newspapers, Alejandro?
Newspapers,
Great. And brewing?
brewing.
Great. Okay. Hyde, you're next. Would you read for me? Oh, do you have any questions, Alejandro?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay. Hyde, would you read the second paragraph?
Could you the letters bigger? No.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Could you the letters make bigger?
Okay, let me see if I can. Home and make it bigger here, I guess. Does that make it bigger? Is that bigger?
Oh, yeah.
Is that bigger? Let's see.
Enough.
Okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
all right. You may start. Buck?
Buck lived at a big house in the sun-kissed Santa Clara Valley. Judge Miller's place, it was called. It stood back from the road, half hidden along the trees through which glimpses could be caught of the wide, cool veranda that ran around its four sides. The house was approached by gravel driveways which wound about through wide-spreading lawns, and under the interlacing boughs of tall poplars. The rear things were on even a more spacious scale than at the front. There were great tables where a dozen grooms and boys held forth rows of vine-clad servant cottages, and endless and orderly array of I'm sorry, I lost array of outhouses, long grape arbors, green pastures, orchards, and berry patches. Then there was a pumpkin plant for the artesian well, and the big cement tank where Judge Miller's boys took their morning plunge, and kept cool in the hot afternoon.
Hot afternoon. Okay,
Hot,
very nice. Hot afternoon.
hot afternoon.
hmm So let's take a look at your words. We have graveled, graveled. And remember, graveled are tiny stones in the road. Graveled. Wound means to circle around. Wound means to circle around. Pumping. Pumping is something going up and down to make movement, usually with water. And this word is pronounced where. Where.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly what it was that you said, but it was not where. But this word is where. Plunge. 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 Can you say plunge?
Plunge.
And the last one is afternoon.
Afternoon.
hmm Do you have questions about what you read, Hyde?
Mm-hmm.
What questions can I answer for you? What questions do you have about what you just read? Do you have any questions?
Uh,
All right. Well, um, we'll listen to Harry. If you can think of your questions, you can still ask your questions. Okay. Harry, would you read for us?
Buck did not read the newspapers, or he would have known that trouble was brewing, not alone for himself, but for every tidewater dog, strong of muscle and with warm, long hair from Puget Sound to San Diego, because men, groping in the Arctic darkness, had found a yellow be beetle or
Metal, yes.
metal, and because steamship and transportation companies were booming the find, thousands of men were rushing into the Northland. These men wanted dogs, and the dogs they wanted were heavy dogs, with strong muscles by which to toil, and fury, co-
Furry, furry.
furry,
hmm
furry, and furry coats to protect them from the frost.
Very nice. All right. So this word here is were, Harry. Were
Were,
and were, were,
were,
were, w-
were,
w- were, were.
were,
Yes. Fairy, fairy, fairy.
furry,
hmm
furry.
Yes. Good. All right. Do you have questions?
No, no questions.
Okay, great. Roman, you're up.
Yeah, I'm so okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, now. Roman?
Okay. Buck lived at a big house in the sun-kissed Santa Clara Valley. George Miller's Place it was called. It stood back from the road, half hidden among the trees, through which a glimpse cloud we caught of the wide, cool veranda that ran around its four sides. The house was approached by gravelled driveways which wound about through wide spreading lawns and under the inter inter interlacing boughs of tall poplars. At the rear things were on even a more ambitious scale than at the front. There were great stables where a dozen grooms and boys held for rows of vine-clad servants' cottages, and endless and orderly array of outhouses, long grape arbors, green pictures, orchards, and berry patches. Then there was a pumping plant for the artesian well and the big cement tank where Judge Miller's boys took their morning plunge and kept cooling the hot afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Roman. This word is hidden, half hidden, half
Hidden,
hidden.
hidden
Mhm. Glimpses with an S. Glimpses.
glimpses. What does it mean, glimpses?
Okay. Have you ever seen a pretty girl, Roman?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want the pretty girl to know that you're staring at her, so you'll quickly look and then you'll look away. You glimpse.
Ah, glimpse. Glimpse. Okay.
Hmm. Interlacing, interlacing,
Interesting.
at. I think you said this word is in, at. This is vine, vine,
Wine. Wine.
and outhouses has an S. Outhouses.
Outhouses.
Artesian, artesian.
Artesian.
Good. Any
Artesian.
question?
Water underground. Artesian.
Um, it's some type of fancy well. Let me take a quick look. Artesian, artesian. It is a hole in the ground from which water is forced to the surface by natural pressure.
I see. Okay, and I got it.
Okay. And Obid, you're next. Obid,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm here.
all right. Could you read for us?
Yeah. Mm. Buck lived uh, at a big house in the San Kitts, Clara Pillar, Jack Miller's place. It was called. It was called. Start back from the road, half hidden among the trees, through, through which climbs called B, cut of the white coat. The veranda that ran around its four sides. The house was approached by lofty driveway which wound about through wide, spreading lawns and under the interlacing boards of tall poplars. At their endings were on even a more spacious scale than at the front. There were great stables where dozen grounds and boys held forth. Rows of fine corn servants' cottages, and endless and orderly array of uh, outhouses, long grabs, arbors, green pasture, orchard, and berry patch. Then there was a bombed land for for the arsenal's well, and the big cement tank where George Miller's boys took their morning blank and kept it cold in the hot afternoon. Wow.
Okay. This is interesting, but what it is that I notice you are making great efforts and strides in pronouncing the words, and this is good because if you give up, then you delay your learning. So here we go. Stood, stood,
Stood,
Glimpses, glimpses.
glimpses, glimpses,
Caught, caught.
caught, caught,
Appro approached, approached.
approached, approached,
Driveways. I need to hear the S. Driveways.
driveway, driveways, with S or no, noise,
With, yes, with the S. I need to hear the S. Driveways.
driveways,
Spacious,
space,
spacious.
spacious, spacious,
Great, great.
great, great,
A, A.
a, a,
Clad, clad.
clad, clad,
Cottage, cottages.
cottages,
Grape, grape.
grape, grape,
Orchards, orchards.
orchard,
Berry,
berry, berry,
artesian,
artisan, artisan,
artesian.
artisan,
Shun, artesian.
artisan,
Great. Plunge,
bland,
plunge.
bland,
Kept.
kept,
Great. Okay. Um, Andre and Amari, I'm skipping you because we're going to go here. Are there any questions about the story? Does anyone have a question about the story?
No, but we want to ask you about how we can improve our reading.
Okay. Well, you're going to improve your reading by constantly reading. That is the only way that you're going to improve your reading. The only way that you're going to improve your conversational English is by constantly speaking. So you're doing exactly what you need to do to be where you need to be by practicing, practicing, and practicing, and more practice. You'll just have to know that if that's what I'm telling you that you need to do, this is what you will need to do. I will liken this to when you were a little kid. You did not leave your mother's womb running. You would crawl a little bit, you'd stand up, and you'd fall down. You'd stand up, and you'd fall down. But eventually, after you tried many, many times, you get up, you fall down. You are now able to walk, and I would even venture a guess that you can even now run. This is what reading is going to require. It is going to require that you start reading and try to read for a deeper understanding. This is why I provide the pictures, because if you can put a picture in your mind, for example, those of you who are seeing me for the very first time tonight, now every time you see the word Priscilla is doing a class, you know what I look like. You've heard my voice, so that is very deeply ingrained in your heart, in your brain, in your mind. You will not forget. So you have to be able to create images in your mind as you speak. I gave you images tonight for sun-kissed. I gave you an image for groping, for gravel. I gave you images for many, many things to help facilitate your developing your reading skills. And this is what we do in elementary school. We have coloring books. We have coloring pencils. We write the letter A. We draw an apple. This is what you will have to do as an adult. The good thing, though, as an adult, your mind is like controlled, and you'll say, this is what I need to do, and you can force yourself to concentrate, while a small child has difficulty concentrating because they want to play. You are here because you really want to learn to read or engage in conversational English. That is my belief, and this is what I'm hoping to help you establish. It is a process, but you can get to that end. Any other question before I take you back to our conversational part tonight? We have about 12 minutes, and we can get a lot done because you need to practice speaking instantaneously. What you say may not make any sense, but it should relate a little bit to the story that we just read. So here's a summary of what we just read. Buck is a dog. We know that Buck is a dog. Buck does not read the newspaper. Can you imagine a dog reading a newspaper? No. So we know Buck is a dog and he's not reading the newspaper, and he doesn't know that people are looking for dogs like him. The reason he doesn't know that people are looking for dogs like him is because he doesn't read the newspaper. And he
Okay,
doesn't.
teacher, uh,
Yes.
you are clear. Explain what we can do it.
Okay.
Thank you. I want to say thank you, and I have to go now. I hope see you next time. Okay?
All right. Well, thank you for
Okay.
bearing with us, and we will only be here for another 10 minutes. But thank you very much for coming, and I hope to see you again very soon. All right, so
Thank
now
you.
I'm going to go back to sharing, and we will start our conversations now. I forgot who left. Who is the person that just left? Does anyone know who left? So I won't put that person's name in the box. Okay, no one knows who left. So if I put the
No,
person's,
that was Heidi and Obeid.
okay, Heidi and Obaid left. Okay, Heidi and Obaid has left. Great, thank you very much. So who was talking to me just now? Who told me that?
That was Andre. That was me.
Okay, who is me?
Andre. Andre.
Andre.
Yeah.
Andre, thank you, Andre. So Andre, this question is for you. This
Okay.
conversation is going to be for you. You can just read what you see on the screen. Andre, do you own a dog?
No, I don't own the dog. Alejandro owns a dog. Alejandro, do you own a dog?
Okay, Alejandro, answer.
Yes, I have a dog.
Read, Alejandro.
Yes, I do own a dog, but my dog is not for the very cold weather. What about you, Roman?
Roman,
I don't have dog.
continue reading.
Okay, but I have traveled to different countries. I think I was on each continent instead of South America.
Roman, continue reading.
Okay, so Andre, do you like to travel?
Yes, I like to travel. One day I may visit Alejandro country. By the way, teacher, can I ask
Yes,
you
yes.
why? Uh, it's about a sentence. One day I may visit Alejandro country. Uh, why should I say Alejandro's country? Because this is the country of Alejandro.
Okay, Andre, remember what I said about conversational English? When you're engaging in conversational English, you should just throw out the window. You should throw out the window trying to say it correctly. Don't think
Okay.
about trying to say it correctly, just say it. When Americans speak, I could say, "I'm going to your country. I'm going home. I'm leaving. I'm I'm trying to make myself not speak correctly. I'm going over there." I, don't try to speak correctly. When you learned how to speak, when speaking comes naturally,
Mhm.
you will say it correctly. And remember, the main thing about speaking conversational English is to be understood. It does not have to be grammatically correct. It only needs to be grammatically correct if you're turning it into a teacher to get a grade. If you're not getting a grade for it, do not spend too much time trying to correct. I'm not saying that grammar is not important, but be sure of what your priorities are. It is not cheap to come to these classes, okay? So for me, for the classes that I teach, it is better to practice the conversational English than to try to focus on grammar, because there are some excellent grammar teachers that are out there that are helping other students, and I'm not that English teacher. I just speak the language. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Got it.
So I want you to just focus on just getting the word out. You want to go to his country. I want to visit his country. I'm going to his country. I want to go. I have been. Whatever. So what I wanted to do was to establish some type of conversation, and I was giving you prompts. And the more classes that you engage in with me, you will know what is expected and how I want to encourage you to practice based upon what you have experienced from the reading. So I would say today's lesson was about Buck, who is living in the very cold area, or actually, he will be stolen. He will be stolen and taken to this harsh place to live. But you would need to have the vocabulary to understand what's going on. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct to understand it, but you need to understand the vocabulary. And this is what I try to do, is to help you establish a strong vocabulary base so that no matter what you are reading, you have a strong comprehension of the text. So I teach in context. I teach you the context of the story by providing you with pictures and images to frame in your brain. All right.
Okay, I got it.
This takes us to the top of the hour. I want to say thank you, Amari, Alejandro, and I have my little cheat sheet down here. Harry, Roman, and Andre Obed, I think, has left. But thank you guys for coming. Please leave feedback. Please let me know what you would like to have me present as a lesson that you would enjoy participating in. And if it's something that I can do, I would be more than happy to put it together for you. Second to that, I do private classes as well. I'd be happy to have you as a private student, but I'm also happy to teach you here in this forum as well. Any questions before we say good night? It's still early evening for me, but some of you probably not.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and I hope that you will follow me and come to as many of my classes and sessions as you can. Have a nice night, and take care. Bye.
It was great, really
Bye-bye.
great. I liked
Okay.
it very much.
Fantastic. Well, if you would put that in the form of a note so that the people who are supporting and encouraging me will know that I might be doing an okay job. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.